Hey everyone, welcome to round 3 of the Portland Open. There's 4 rounds. The first 2 we played at Blue Lake. Today we are playing the new course at Glendoveer. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and we're the two Hot Geese.
Honk. Glendoveer is a much more wide open track. Still some OB, but not quite as much as we saw out at Blue Lake. It was a wet round at Glendoveer this morning, and we're going to watch Valerie Mandujano, Catrina Allen, Rebecca Cox, and Juliana Korver attack this bomber of a course.
Yeah, Valerie shot 3 under par yesterday, extending her lead. Catrina shot a smoking hot 5 down to get on the lead card, and we saw Rebecca and Juliana yesterday as well.
Hole 1 is a doozy of a hole, starting off with the hardest hole on the course statistically. It averaged at a full stroke over par. You have to throw straight over this green, kind of an Anheuser shot. Your second shot, you want to land somewhere between the line of trees on the right and the very tight OB line on the left. There is out of bounds behind the elevated pin as well.
Live Oaks Disc Golf Course. Let's give it up for Valerie Mandujano.
Valerie was looking very solid all weekend at Blue Lake, keeping it in the middle of the fairway, and her putt is absolutely on fire right now.
I think, though, this is probably the hardest hole in the course. And then you always have that hole 1, like, you know, maybe nervous or jitters or whatever, but that looked really smooth with a trespass for Valerie.
Next on the tee, let's hear a warm round of applause for Catrina Allen.
Catrina struggling a little bit at Blue Lake in round 1. Not her normal play, but she came back on fire yesterday, like Erika said.
I believe that was the hot round yesterday.
This course definitely caters to her disc golf game with the wide open distance shots and a lot of flexes, which she's very good at. Fortunately, she turns one over here on the wet tee pad.
Representing the Natty Disc Golf Club in Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's hear it for Rebecca Cox.
This tee shot is very demanding. If you do filter too far straight and don't turn your disc enough, you can find out of bounds very easily. So you really want to make sure you have something that's going to finish right, but not cut roll.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, it doesn't have a single shot, I feel like, that it calls for. You know, is it a sidearm? Is it a tight turnover? Is it a wide turnover? Is it pitched straight across the green? Like, they're all super risky.
And last on the tee for our lead card. Let's give a warm round of applause for Juliana Korver.
Yeah, I think a distant sidearm is probably, or like a fairway sidearm is probably the best case scenario here, but you're
that bunker is right in the way, though, too.
Yeah, and you're relying on like a skip off the green, which is kind of sketchy, a forward skip.
This is looking at least across and not short like some of the other ladies, and that tree might have helped her stay in bounds.
Drop zone, but I don't know where the drop zone is.
Catrina landing short. I actually didn't even realize there was a drop zone. That's actually a favorable position considering where she went out of bounds.
Yeah.
There is this tricky little patch of OB right here. You can see the stakes. That was well played from Catrina to stay short of that.
This fairway has a lot of elevation changes throughout it, so it is really hard to tell what's in bounds and what's safe from where Rebecca's throwing. You're kind of throwing blindly and know you need to land just short of these stakes, but past that, it's any man's game.
These are the ladies, actually. That looked like a good shot from Rebecca with her compass. Juliana going up the left side. It's really nice if you can get past this little OB patch and past these trees, because then it's a very easy pitch up.
And where Juliana just ended up turning it over into the trees, I think is like the best mistake you could make.
Yeah, because at least it's not out of bounds.
Yeah, but it's tricky over there. There's lots of big trees.
For sure. No guarantee she's going to par from there. If this sits, that's great.
Yeah, Valerie making it over that pinched OB area, but stopping just short of that out of bounds.
Beautiful.
Is that a bunker? What was that thing that she was near?
It's just like a golf tee area. Okay. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't like it.
Rebecca leaving hers just a little bit short of the circle. She'll have a super death putt. It drops off right behind the basket to the out of bounds cart path.
Catrina with her pro line breaker, parking it for a bogey, which honestly isn't bad, especially with the out of bounds.
Juliana sizing up her third shot. Looks like she has some room to work with in those trees, which is nice.
Leaves it a little short as well. Nothing like starting off with the most difficult hole. All of our lead card ladies find a little trouble. Yeah, Valerie too misjudges it. That hill is steeper than it looks.
I mean, she's
drops
second.
off right behind the basket.
Yeah, she's second shot closest to the pin, and she still had a kind of sketchy approach there with that basket placement.
Yeah, you really have to land it short. Yeah, not even messing with it. Valerie coming back for her par. Pretty uphill putt to an elevated pin.
It is steep. Oh, lots of chains, but it flips out on the right side. This hole, like I said earlier, averaged at 1 stroke over par. And so a bogey here doesn't really lose you a lot of strokes to the field.
Yeah, that double gonna hurt a little bit more for Rebecca.
There was one birdie, though, on the day.
Oh, yeah?
Ella Hansen.
Nice.
Got a 3. That is so impressive.
She's got that power sidearm. I wonder if that's what she threw off
Back
the tee.
to back, yeah.
But she also has the high turn. She's got it all, basically.
She can go
And
power sidearm
congratulations.
twice
Yeah.
and be putting.
Hole 2 is a very gettable par 3, 315 feet. We are going out and then back to the right. You can take the inside flex line or just an outside power hyzer. There is OB deep if you push too straight, and a bunker towards the pin. Up in the left-hand corner, guys, we have merch. Check it out, gkprodisc.com. Get your dad hats.
They're vintage. They're denim. Can you get better than that?
Valerie choosing the backhand route with a Maverick, and that's a decent line. It has a lot of speed, though. Yeah. It's so hard to get a backhand here.
That's the main mistake you'll see is people throwing turnovers and not getting enough turn on it, and they'll filter out straight out of bounds over the cart path. She'll be, what would you say, 40 or 50 feet from the pin?
Yeah, she'll have a chance, but no gimme.
Catrina looks like she's having the same issue here.
Pushing, yeah, way too straight. This really calls for a sidearm. I'm surprised Catrina didn't throw one.
Even though it's 315 feet and downhill, where that main center tree is makes it really hard to take the dummy hyzer route.
Yeah, it really, if you don't have the superpower, you really have to flex one. Look at this roller from Juliana.
I love
Come back
this
in.
play.
No. There was like a little notch she could have rolled back in.
Man, I love that play.
Yeah, that was cool. It almost worked.
Rebecca looks like she's opting for the wide hyzer route. It's really hard to get to the pin and get a putt here, but you can land
it's
safe.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
It's generally pretty safe. That was for Macy Veladia's Fusion Raider. And, I mean, Rebecca's putting. Like, that hyzer can leave you a putt. It's just longer than you'd like.
This putt is also extremely sketchy. The bunker is right behind the basket within, 10 feet?
Yeah.
It's very close, so if you go past the basket at all, it's downhill sloping too, so it can easily roll towards that out of bounds as well.
Yeah, that's why I like the flex forehand, because even if you mess up, it leaves you a straight shot to the pin, takes the bunker out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, everyone just laying up. They don't want no part of that bunker.
This averaged at about 0.2 strokes over par.
Valerie going for it?
Oh, yeah. She's been putting lights out. Does that check up?
No, that's the risk.
I love to see her playing aggressive while still in the lead. Like, she's not slowing down. She's like, I'm going to keep
Foot
to
on
my
the
game
gas.
plan.
Unfortunately, this is for double, though.
Yeah.
So she's starting out 3 over through 2 holes. And,
She's confident. It's just like...
yeah, she is confident, but she's, like, lost the lead that she had already. So we'll see what she does. Juliana with the bogey. That roller, I really wanted to see that work out. That was a cool play. Rebecca with a nice par. And Catrina with a bogey as well. But only one stroke behind Valerie now. It is cut day, people. Only 50% of our field will move on to the final day tomorrow.
It's like wet wood right now.
Hole 3 is an uphill 285 feet, plays a little closer to 310 or 320. There are a bunch of trees you have to work your way through. There's a few different routes you can take to this basket, just depending on what strikes your fancy. A lot of these shorter par 3s do have low ceilings you have to contend with. That's the real tricky part here. Also, right around the green of a lot of these baskets, there are big trees. So you want to try not to land behind those because it can remove your ability to putt on some of these greens.
There's a proto sergeant from Rebecca, and she's parked. Catrina kicks early, almost finding the left side out of bounds, but she is in. That'll be a tough scramble. This is a road runner, and I love it.
Yeah, what a beautiful line. Getting every bit of distance she needs.
Yeah, I like the flippy fairway play. That's not what I did, but I wish I did. This looks good too from Valerie.
Yeah, getting around that last big tree, no problem.
Easy, huh?
Katrina having a wide open approach to the pin with just a pitch
nice.
sidearm.
I thought she might have some trees in her way, but that's no problem.
It gets rough over there if you're not as far out.
It's actually good she kicked so far left. Rebecca for 2. Band high. Valerie with a good birdie.
Nice too.
Even at 285 feet, only 19% of the field finding birdies.
I think all of the par 3s today played uphill.
Yeah.
So like,
or low ceiling. So it shows
both,
that
yeah.
even if it's a sub 300 foot hole on this course, it's definitely not an easy hole by any means. I think that's a common theme for the par 3s that they designed out here.
Yeah. For those of you who are paying attention, this is a totally brand new redesign from last year. We're playing on the other half of the property, so we've never seen any of these holes. I'm really digging this track. It's very scoreable. It's beautiful. And let's see what people are doing out there. Ella Hansen 3 down through 5 with the best score. Looks like kind of chase card and third card ladies are pushing. Our lead card's struggling a little bit.
Yeah, it's difficult to get the birdies out here unless you have that a little bit bigger distance that doesn't require putting a lot of height on the disc. So it's all about getting the pars as much as you can too and minimizing those bogeys because you can't guarantee birdies even on a hole like this.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a par 4. It's 320. It's definitely reachable, but the trees make you shape kind of a flex line. See this tree right in the way? You cannot really get a hyzer there, so you have to flex one out and around. I really like that even though we're on a golf course, they're making you throw very specific shots. And Juliana knows exactly how to throw that. She is parked for her birdie. That was a turn.
Dangers here is if you do flip one over, there is a bunker on the right-hand side, but it's pretty far away. It's not necessarily one you're thinking about.
Valerie goes Raider, and she's tucked up against that real thick tree. But I think she should have a pretty easy look at birdie, hopefully.
Yeah, I feel like that is like the most common and perfect landing zone is behind that huge tree.
Like a triple tree. That looked like that proto sergeant again from Rebecca. And once again, oh no. I was going to say our lead card ladies are making this look a little bit more easy and gettable than it can play.
Catrina just wanted to throw a hyzer on this one. So
Yeah.
she had to get herself set up.
And she did it.
Yeah, she did.
Good recovery. A little bit of a putt left here for Catrina's par.
Even though this hole was a little longer than hole 3, this one averaged at a couple tenths of a stroke under par. Played a lot easier than the last hole with 30% of the field getting birdies, just like Juliana right here. I think the FPO field loves their flex shots. Who doesn't love a good distance flex shot?
Oh yeah, Valerie just fine there on that tree. We got to see 3 birdies and 1 bogey on that hole.
It was important for me to partner with a retailer that could help with growing my brand and making my products available all over the country and across the world. Flight Factory has helped me accomplish that. Check out all of my gear and thousands of other discs at Flight Factory.
If disc golf is your game, make Gotta Go, Gotta Throw your disc golf warehouse. With a huge selection of discs, bags, baskets, carts, shirts, and more. GottaGo.GottaThrow.com has all the tools to take your game to the next level. Shop online or our Golden Valley, Minnesota store. Free shipping with all online orders over $75. Online or in-store, get what you need for the game you love. GottaGo.GottaThrow.com, your disc golf warehouse. In the game since 1993.
Unbelievable stuff from Paul McVeigh.
Hole 5 is one of the most fun tee shots on the property.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge downhill shot. You can throw it on whatever angle you want. There is out of bounds on the cart path on the right. I don't think the out of bounds really comes into play on the left. You're trying to throw your second shot somewhere around those trees we just crossed. Your third shot has to go over this gully.
There's some water in there.
Pond.
Yeah.
This out of bounds pond.
Thin pond.
But the basket's up on a hill. It does make the approach a little scary. Juliana getting tons of distance off
She
this
just
tee
goes
shot.
Roadrunner. Yeah. What control.
And lets it fly.
It's so fun to watch these fly downhill. It's so satisfying when you do it right.
There's not really a wrong place to land here in reality. As long as you keep it out of the big trees, even over there, you have an open shot for your next. Valerie working up that right-hand side, which I really like.
This is a Raider too, so it's got good stability to come back, and she crushed that one. So did Juliana. They're both in great spots.
The right side's a nice place to be. It gives you a couple more options.
Yeah, the left side can kind of add distance. If you stick to the right side the whole time, there's less water to throw around. Rebecca going Proto Sergeant again, and that spot is fine. But might be just a little tougher than the right.
Catrina getting a lot of right turn here.
Maybe
Needs
too
to
much.
Check up.
She's fine, but kind of pinned. I mean, that's so far. That's where a lot of people are landing on their second shots. That was her Pro Line Torrent.
Oh no.
So that is low and in the bunker. And that's why the right side is nice. It takes a lot of these bunkers and greens kind of out of play, and you're just throwing at the trees instead.
Yeah, it's kind of, we figured out during our practice round, it's kind of good to be further right, but past this clump of trees that Catrina is going to have to deal with here.
So she's throwing a forehand through them and kicks OB.
Oof. It is tough to get to the pin from where she just kicked out of bounds too. Valerie gets past this stand of big trees that have low-hanging branches, so she's going to have a very straightforward up and down to the green.
She also just threw a Warden, so just a controlled putter shot.
God, she was so far down there.
I mean, Juliana too, farthest off the tee. Throwing something low speed, just like Valerie. Those are going to be probably some very easy pitch-ups. The pin is on a bit of a hill, so you do have to make sure you don't land with any angle, but those are looking good. Catrina going out and around with a big hyzer. Looks like it has plenty of... I was going to say plenty of distance, but she landed short.
I wonder... I feel like there's going to be a discussion about where it crossed.
Yeah.
It'll be tough.
I wonder if the spotter gave a good mark. So Rebecca is throwing from the bunker, which is a hazard, and that was a great shot.
Man, it is tough.
And that's for par, too, so good recovery.
It's tough getting good power off that loose sand. That was very impressive.
Juliana with a beautiful straight putter approach.
Wow.
Yeah. She is parked for her birdie.
Making this birdie look easy.
Yeah. Valerie going Warden again. Standstill shot. To about 15 feet.
Wow.
Nice.
43% of the field got a birdie on this hole or better. And I did not. I thought that this would play a lot harder than that.
Nah.
Wow.
I mean, everyone can get it.
Yeah.
I think we must have missed a shot from Catrina. She must have just pitched up
Yeah.
and gets the double bogey. Rebecca with a great par save after that errant second shot into the bunker. Yeah, if you get your a big tee shot off, it's pretty not easy to birdie, but it's anybody can do it.
Yeah.
In the field. You don't have to have a giant arm. Big shout out to Paige Pierce who eagled this though with that big old arm. Hole 6 is a 305-foot par 3. The line I think is probably flex sidearm. I saw Sarah Hokum get here with just a power sidearm, and you can kind of shape a backhand or take this route right here that Juliana's doing, the wide hyzer. It's just kind of tough to skip it all the way to the pin if you take that route. It increases the length, but
Also, the way the hole is shaped, it goes downhill and then starts going back uphill right where you need the ground play, and that uphill doesn't let your disc skip.
and
It funnels it forward.
It does. So Valerie, I haven't seen very many get closer than that. I was hoping we would see this flex play. Rebecca throwing the shot and landing in circle 2. A little more height. The angle was perfect.
Wow, I'm surprised to see so many people choosing that right hyzer line. I feel like
Me too.
A little bit sketchy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if sketchy's the right word. I feel like it is kind of the bailout play, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Catrina, Juliana finding some trouble early and not as close as you'd like for a par.
Nice bid from Rebecca. I like that little floaty approach.
Valerie for a long circle 2 look at a birdie.
Only 4 birdies today. Natalie Ryan, Missy Gannon, Sarah Hokum, and Cynthia Ricciardi. Cynthia was on my card. She made a long putt to get this one.
Yeah, can you believe Hokum went just like hyzer forehand to get there?
Oh, she didn't do the flex.
No, it was awesome though. She was pretty parked.
That's amazing. Her disc
Wow,
angle
great
control.
Great putt from Juliana for her par save. Catrina with a bogey, and I'm struggling on this front 9. I think she's 6 over through 6.
Out of the 44 competitors in the field, only 5 got into circle 1 here. Wow.
Yeah, it's very tricky.
Hole 7 is uphill and 450 feet. It seems like it would be a very easy birdie to get at that distance, but the steep uphill and the low-hanging branches make it really tough to get to this basket. Your first shot needs to be out and wide to the right, but there's a bunch of trees that block that approach, and I think that's where it gets really tricky on this hole. If you are able to get it up at the top of the hill, just trying to get to the green.
This is a turn from Juliana, and that's a good shot.
It's about the most normal landing zone here is almost to the top of the hill.
Yeah, if you manage to crest a little bit higher than that, it does make it a lot easier. It looks about the same from Valerie. Both good shots.
Yeah, it's probably going to leave them around 150 or 175 feet to the basket. It's just a tricky approach from there.
Yeah, it's uphill. The footing's tough, but super doable. That was a grace for Rebecca. Pro line rogue from Catrina. They're all, from our perspective here, it looks like they all landed within 10 feet of each other. We'll see.
The basket is a little bit blind from here. And then here's where it gets tricky is these 2 big trees can block off a lot of the green here and make putting really tough for bird.
Yeah, if you land short, you often have nothing. You kind of want to go out way wider, kind of like this, as long as this misses the trees. and then skip in for the better angle. Yeah, that's perfect. So no trees on that side. Thanks, Rebecca. Good demonstration of what I was talking about.
Juliana looking like she's taking a similar line. Gets past that big
Oh,
tree.
yeah.
Wow. Her approach
Hurt.
game is really on today.
Yeah. She's starting to stack them up too. She had a turkey 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
Yep. So she's 1 under on the round right now, and she's parked to go 2 under. Catrina getting caught up. Has nothing, just has to lay up for par. Rebecca from a little over 20 feet.
Oh. Just leaving it a bit short on the cage.
Those hurt. Valerie from a similar distance. Cash.
25% of the field with birdies on this shorter par 4.
Wow, Valerie stacking up exactly like Juliana is. She birdied 3, 4, 5, and 7 as well. Nice park job there for a birdie. Hole 8 is wild. You're throwing down this tunnel, but into this canopy that's right in the way, so I think a understable flex shot that's going to fade a little at the end is a good play. There's some forehand routes and routes to the left off the tee as well. And then the second shot, distance-wise, you're usually going to have less than 300 feet if you get off the tee cleanly. If you hit early, it's going to be really hard to get your birdie. Also, there's an OB line all the way to the right. There's a mando tree, so you can't just throw a hyzer out wide.
So that was definitely an errant shot. You can tell
But
from
it
her
worked
reaction.
out.
But yeah, there
guess. Whoa,
is a
there's-
ton of space over there, and she's going to be able to pretty easily get to the basket even with that errant shot.
Yeah, it's really not a bad play to go that direction. It's just not... They're much smaller gaps on the right. This is the biggest gap that Valerie is taking, but see how she's flirting with this OB line?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That was a lot of trust in her disc. She turned it over really hard.
That is a massive shot, though. That was her orbit grace. She's way down there for birdie.
Rebecca
this is
not
really high and early.
Yeah, she's not quite getting enough on it. Dropping down into these trees can be tough. Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah, turn out okay. It'll take a really special shot for her to get a birdie, though. That looks nice from Catrina.
It'll be a very straightforward hyzer shot to the green.
That was her pro line torrent. Rebecca from the left side.
Still a lot of downhill to work with. She doesn't quite get the fade on the disc that she wants, and she checks up just before the circle.
Juliana, for her approach shot, just throwing a hyzer inside of that big tree and leaving it
Is that
maybe
the play
25
over
feet.
there?
I Holcomb went that way, but I'm telling you, the gaps are small. Like,
They are.
Juliana was lucky to get through there.
Yeah.
If that was an errant shot, which it looked like it was.
Yeah, her reaction said yes.
Uh-huh.
That was not on purpose.
But hey, birdie. Look at how easy this is. That was the best drive I've seen.
So Val probably threw every bit of 500 feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's steeply downhill. So, pretty cool. This is for birdie for Rebecca. I really like the kick. She'll have to take a par. Catrina for birdie. Nice.
Great conversions.
Get her round started.
Juliana to save her birdie. Yes.
Nice.
Oh, that was a funny noise.
Yeah, thunk. Juliana leading our card, I believe she's 3 down now, and Valerie is 2 down on the front with that. Rebecca definitely with like the most pars, you know, just chilling.
Hole 9 is a par 4. It's 595 feet, so you think, oh, 2 300-foot shots, no problem. But this downhill has a low ceiling, and it's hard to get it to carry much past the 310-foot mark, and then it is pretty steeply uphill and kind of tough to get to this green, even though it is a pretty simple hyzer shot. There are some trees you have to contend with, so you can't go super wide. It needs to push straight before crashing left. It's the third most difficult hole on the day.
That second shot is just, it plays so uphill. And then this shot, even though the trees off the tee aren't really in your way, it shapes it enough that you can't like open it up for max distance.
Yeah, and those low-hanging branches are in your head, so you sometimes end up just throwing it, just turfing it, because you're trying to stay out of those. Valerie turns it over and catches those trees on the right-hand side. We'll see if she has something to work with over there.
It's definitely better too to land a little bit right to throw like a bit of an Anheuser shot. If you end up left, oh, that was like a phantom branch. I didn't even see it. If you end up left, those two left-hand trees get in your way. There's another Orbit Grace.
Although it is hard to get to this basket for birdie, I'm surprised it averaged at almost a half stroke above par.
It makes me feel better about my bogey.
Yeah, 45% of the field with a bogey or worse. That's so surprising.
Catrina clipping some branches. She'll still have, what, maybe 225 left? Just make up a distance, and everyone has to agree with me because you can't say
I think
anything.
it's actually more like 200 and... I'm just kidding.
This is a good rip from Valerie. It should leave a very simple approach shot for her par. I don't think I've seen anyone land even in circle 2 on the second shot. Well,
Yeah,
this looks great.
It looks like 10% of the field find circle 2 in regulation today, which is 4 people.
I think Rebecca's one of them.
Only 2 people found circle 1 in regulation. For those of you at home that don't know what that means, that just means finding circle 1 for birdie.
Catrina might be a little closer than I thought. Going. I think she was trying to go wider hyzer, and that was early, and leaves it outside the circle.
She doesn't have to worry about the OB green or bunker. She's carried far enough past, but it is going to be a slightly uphill putt.
We've kind of forgot to talk about the rain. It rained on and off all day. It'll start probably very soon for them to be a little bit more on.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say we forgot to talk about the rhododendrons.
Oh, they are popping. Look at those
They
things.
decided to bloom right before the event. They were
Gorgeous.
unbelievable.
Look at them.
Yeah, it never got super heavy. It did just pretty steadily drizzle on us all day. Thankfully, these tall trees have a nice canopy, so if you were under some of them, you didn't have to deal with your umbrella.
Do it, Rebecca.
Wow! She's all over it.
Oh, she is all over it. Look, I love her smile afterwards.
She's like, again?
She's like,
really?
I'm so close. She knows it. She's hungry. Catrina for a par.
The 2 birdies today were Paige Pierce and Jennifer Allen, and what impressive threes.
Valerie, a nice solid par.
I feel like those threes had to have been just absolutely unloaded on the second
Oh,
shot.
yeah.
Because you can't really get that much out of the first one.
Juliana with a good par. And Rebecca almost getting that birdie. That'll do it, huh? It's 9 holes.
That's 9.
Wow.
Let's take a look back at what our lead car did. Lots of green, tons of green. Look at Valerie and Juliana just bouncing back after a rough start. Rebecca, we know how close she was to getting those birdies. We know that scorecard could look a lot more green.
But it's definitely clean. Catrina, 6 over, struggling. She's going to need to find some birdies on the back to stay in contention. Valerie with a bit of a lead there.
It doesn't get any easier to birdie on the back. It's good to find as many as you can on the front. It stays kind of rough. There are some nice short par 3s that we could see, but not a lot. Oh, look at a lot of people getting under par.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, on the front 9.
Yeah, scoreboard there. Maria and Natalie Ryan, 4 under. Ella Hansen, 3 under. Catrina dropping back to 9th place. Lots of movement, lots of birdies. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to our FPO VIP members for supporting us. We love you, and honk.
Honk, 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 honk. This is round 3. This is cut day. We've got 9 more holes before we cut half the field. I hope you guys have enjoyed the first half. We'll see you on the back. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and we're the 2 Hot Geese.
Mm.